Hi guys, how's it going? Well, we're here at Box Hill and we're just going to have a nice little hour or so stroll along here. Welcome to Clive Reeves Photographic Channel, and we're going to discuss the use of a prime lens. So I'm basically going to give you 3 tips for getting the best out of your prime lens. I haven't fitted it on at the moment, but the one I'm using today goes to 1.8, so it's quite a fast lens, 45mm. It's an Olympus one, it's quite small, but the advantages of using a prime lens is that it's a fast lens. And the reason they call them a fast lens is because the aperture opens up very wide, allowing lots of light to get into your sensor. This is a great lens to use when you're doing street photography. Whew, excuse me, bit out of breath, especially in a city when you don't really need a tripod. If you've got a well-lit place, you can open the aperture right up and the sunlight or the night lights gets in and gives you a decent shutter speed, so you can hand hold your camera. And the other thing with a prime lens is, with the aperture wide open, you can blur out that background as well. Make the subject really stand out, but you've got to be a bit careful with that. Sometimes you want to blur out the background. Sometimes you want to keep a little bit of information in it, especially if you've got a landmark. And St Paul's Cathedral is a good example of that, where there's lots of padlocks on the side of the river, but you can have St Paul's slightly in focus, and that basically shows the viewer where the shot was taken, and it adds to the story. I haven't walked here for a while. It's nice, but we'll see if we can find a subject where we can use the prime lens here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is the Olympus prime lens, 45mm, 1.8. It's a tiny little thing, but the image quality of it is superb. Now the only thing with the prime lens is it's got a fixed focal length, so you cannot zoom in and you cannot zoom out. It's one focal length, so you want to be very careful with your compositions. But it's great for street photography. You can get relatively close to the subject, get that lovely blur background, makes the subject stand out, and it is a superb lens to use. So I'm going to fit this on, take a few shots, a couple of different apertures, and I'll put them up at the end of the film so you can see exactly what it does, and it gives you an idea. As I say, this is a 45mm. Obviously they come in different focal lengths, and they go right the way down to 1.4, 1.2, and you're looking lots of money for those, but they're well worth it. So I'm actually filming this off the beaten track on Box Hill. It's right off the Box Hill Road. So if you want to come here and take some photos, have a walk about. This is a track that's not used that often, and it's just a bit more quiet than the main Box Hill area. But there's a great pub in here called the Box Tree, which is just across the road from this little lane. And yeah, it's just really nice. One other important tip: if you're shooting towards the light, drop your exposure down by at least 1 stop. If the camera says whatever it tells you, drop it down by at least 1 stop, because the light at the end, you'll lose all the detail and it just be pure white and nothing else. So drop it down a stop or a stop and a half to get that detail at the end of the light there. But it's a nice leading line there, the pathway's lovely and the colours are beautiful. Okay, so if it comes out too bright, drop it down. This is one of the advantages of this mirrorless camera. When I've taken a photo, you can actually see the image for about 1 second beforehand. So if it's not right, I'll take another one, and then I can see then if it's correct or not without having to take the camera away from my eye. That's why I love a mirrorless camera. It stops you having to keep taking it away and checking the photo on the back, see if it's come out. You can keep it to your eye and see the image. Right, now that is definitely it. See you folks. Bye.